Howdy, gamers, and welcome to Checkpoint Reached, a weekly show where we discuss a topic in gaming with some occasional news stories, some movie and TV quotes, and just some random life rants. Thank you all so much for joining us. I am your host, Lex, along with my co host, Ernie.
Hello, hello.
Ernie, how is it going, man? How are you in this fine evening?
I'm doing great. I'll be honest with you. I'm sorry. I just a little side thing.
Huh.
I got a little discouraged after all the freaking battles we just had
I
with
know.
OBS to record, and for whatever reason, it kind of took me down a little bit. But I'm here. I'll get into it right now. But
To be
dude,
honest,
good.
too, like at first second, because okay, I mean, we'll just clue everyone in. We were having some issues a little bit before trying to get this
Yeah,
record, and honestly, if it was going to happen, I was just going to tell Artie, let's just play something. I was just going to say, "Oh, I'm good,
I
like
would have
I'm
been down,
chilling,
dude. Honestly,
like
um,
let's run something. But hey,
yeah,
we're
yeah.
back, we're
Now we're
here.
back. Yeah.
Um, I
Dude,
mean, I'm doing good.
the one thing that I wanted to say before, because we cut off and I wasn't able to tell you this,
Oh yeah,
but so when I work with OBS, I have all these things going on. That's why you'll see my eyes all over the place. But there's like this little particular thing we use called Control Room, and I could share my screen with Lex, right? And I thought this was hilarious because you brought this up, and I was like, I didn't even know you were talking about something a long episode a while ago, and I didn't know that you could see what I was looking at on my screen, and I was on Instagram looking at something.
yeah. And when you do that, it
I feel
distracts
so
me.
bad.
It's funny because
Yeah.
there are times because there's sometimes I've seen you've done that, and I'll be like, and I'm like, because I'm watching, because
Yeah.
I'm trying, but it's okay. It was fine. It was quick,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
didn't want
I
to call
was
you out on
watching.
it either. I was like, all right, but
And
it's fine.
you could have honestly would have been probably funnier, but like, yeah, I was like, you brought that up right now. I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta not do that. Sometimes, like, I think I have a
No,
TikTok brain, dude. Now it's like
I
sometimes I'm doing something and then I need to be doing something else. Does that make sense? It's like the
No, dude,
weirdest
same
thing.
thing. I mean, sometimes you'll see me looking at something, and I'm like, I think all last week I was trying to figure out my Switch password because we are talking
Oh
about
yeah.
Switch,
Oh, that's right.
and
That's right. Yeah,
and
yeah. I
I
remember
finally when I finally
that.
got it, I didn't bring it up because I'm like, I couldn't even
Yeah,
find the hours I was looking for, and I can't find it anywhere. I was like, this is annoying, and I went through so
yeah,
much
yeah.
trouble, and I felt so
Dude,
bad, but
I
I
know,
was still
man.
there. But no, dude, just like you, same thing. I'll be like, I got to do something else, and it's even if it's like so dumb, I open my phone real quick and look at something real quick, and not even paying attention. It's yeah, what have we
Yeah,
done?
what have
What have
I
we changed?
done?
We used to
But
go outside, dude. Me and you, we used to go outside and as
we
a
used to
kid.
touch the grass.
That's the grass now.
But how are you, my
Um,
friend?
I'm good, man. I'm happy. Yeah, I was for a second. I was getting a little discouraged as well, but hey,
Yeah,
I'm glad we
happy as a
got through
clam,
it.
huh?
We're here. We're here. What's up?
Happy as a clam, huh?
Happy as a clam, yes, sir. Uh, so, dude, I want to talk about some stuff here. We're gonna
Talk
break the
about
mold a
it.
little bit. We don't have news
Oh,
this week. Well, we do, but we're gonna talk about it as the main episode, which you already know. But in honor of an April Fool's traditions, this episode is going to come out on April 4th, I believe, on Friday.
yeah.
And so by the time, it's going to be old. But I just want to ask you, April Fools, are you a big like April Fool, or are you like, have you ever been someone who's ever really participated in it?
I I hate April Fools. I dislike April Fools so much. Like every time it comes around and I know it's coming, I'm always like, oh God, I'm just like pissed about it.
Yeah,
Which is like
stay.
not
Yeah,
it's not the worst day. It's just like things happen that like on the news or something, and it's like that I'm like, oh my gosh, this is awesome, and then it's a lie. And I fell for so many. The younger I was, so because I'm gullible a lot, to be honest with you. I'm gonna lie to you guys, I'm pretty gullible,
yes.
and that freaking that day is like the worst day for that sort of
You have
type
to
of
stay off
person,
the
right?
internet,
Yeah,
especially that day. But I mean, I will say, but I'm just saying, like, back when you were younger, I feel like when I was younger, I was like, definitely there was more fooling going around, like, especially in school.
no
So
fooling.
it was always pretty rough. It was kind of like St. Patty's Day. If you didn't wear
Yeah,
green, you're pinched. You know what I mean? Or like
yeah.
some stuff. And like nowadays, as we're older, like the fool's jokes are really silly. Like this weekend, we have a party for my cousin who's turning 1, and my uncle's like, "Hey guys, winds are strong. How about Sunday, April Fools?" We're like, "Okay, that's not that's not that
Wow,
great." Like, all right, cool.
yeah, but
Uh, no skin off my back.
that's a pretty.
And
That's
he's
like
an
such
older
a
guy,
dad.
so it's pretty
I
sweet,
also
right?
that's such a dad sort
He's
of
like,
like
"Got him."
April Fool. He went like this one of these, you
Yeah,
know,
he's,
finger guns after.
uh,
Yeah, yeah,
but yeah,
that's pretty good.
it's like silly stuff, which is fine. I don't want anything crazy. I'm sure there's people that do
Mm,
some crazy stuff. I never really participated either. I'm not a
yeah,
fan of it. I just like, and I can't go on with the lie either. Like, I feel so bad. Like I'll be like,
Yeah.
hey, you know what I mean? I get, but exactly like you got to stay off the internet. I would go on and
Yeah.
everything, and it's weirdly enough, so many things got announced on April Fools. It was movies, other game stuff, and I'm like, what? Why are they announcing everything today? Um, but they weren't jokes. Like some of them were just actually real, and they felt like jokes. But anyway, yeah. I mean,
Yeah. I want to say two things
yes, please.
before I forget. There was so you were talking about April Fools, if I ever partaked in any sort of like I don't know, tomfoolery.
Hmm.
And no, because I've never liked it. I just don't like that kind of joking around. But I did see this trend on TikTok, which I thought was like pretty hilarious because it kind of coincided with the Big Back movement. If nobody knows what the Big Back movement
Big
is,
Mac.
it's Big Mac. It's
He's
well,
hungry.
it
He's
kind of
hungry.
does pertain into that, but
Hmm.
it's when people who eat very heavily, right? They put a little song that goes Big Back, and it's like,
I've
have you ever
never
seen
heard
this? You've never
that.
seen this? Oh my gosh,
I
it's
mean, maybe,
crazy.
but
That's wild. Yeah, you should look this up. But they go Big
but
Back,
look, well,
and
sorry, I
go
don't mean
ahead.
to interrupt you, but just
Yeah,
it's like the TikTok brain, right? Like, because I've
yeah,
sent you
yeah,
stuff and I've told you stuff like, "Hey, have you seen this?" You're like, "No," and I send it to you, or, "Oh yeah, I've seen it." That's just so I probably
yeah,
have, but anyway, continue, please.
yeah. So there's a song, and it's the Big Back song, and it's like, I'll play a little bit of it. Watch. Big back, big back, big back. Yeah, my back is loaded up with sex.
Well, actually, okay, I don't know if I've heard that.
Okay, and he goes, "My back is loaded up with guns and food," or whatever. But it's like some chubby black dude singing this. But so what people were doing for April Fools this year is they would bring Krispy Kreme donut boxes, right?
Oh,
A
okay,
few of
yes.
them, but like when people would open them, they would be like vegetables or like
Mm,
something, like and I was like, that was pretty hilarious because people, you could see that they're going and they're looking forward to it,
it's
and
harsh.
they're
That's
recording.
pretty harsh.
Yeah, and it was so funny. That is a pretty funny one, but
Yeah, I mean, I think I definitely did it probably in my early school days. I don't remember anything. I never did anything too crazy. I mean, maybe I did. I just don't remember it. But yeah, I remember being fooled plenty of times. I mean, there's
yeah,
it's a rough one. So I wanted to bring this part up because I just want to talk about some of the stuff we might have saw today that we probably fell for. Didn't really. I already knew it was a joke. Um, there was one you sent me that I was dying
yeah,
because I fell for it. It was they said that some guy there was someone on Twitter,
Twitter,
X, I
yeah,
suppose. Um,
yeah.
they said PS3 games are going to be available to play on PS5, even like physical ones. And then he's like, send it to me. And you're like, oh man, like right away, you're like, ah, wait, I fell for
I
it.
fell for it. God, dude, I was like, dude, that happened to me twice. I think
Yeah.
last year they did that as well, but they did it a different way.
Uh,
And oh man, dude, that one got me real good. I
honestly,
was
I
like,
didn't get
son of
got
a
that much, but I did
gun.
send you, and this one was a
Yeah.
dumb one. The game Brutal Legend on was a remaster coming out. I'm like, oh, this is sick. If I'm all, and I said probably April Fools, but that'd be cool if it was real. And like, I don't know
Oh
why I
yeah, you
thought it
did
was
say
still
that.
real,
Yeah.
but I was like, but it was so dumb. But also, you sent me something that was great. The Metal
Tell
Gear
me.
Phantom Pain Collector's Edition. Now, if you have not seen this, everyone, you should look at it. It's just a massive dildo that's included in it along with everything else. And I was like, I was
Yeah,
looking at him up to school and I spoke. I'm like,
Phantom
oh
Pain.
no,
Yeah, what's funny is
it's
so when I
mixed
had
in
seen
pretty
it,
well.
when I looked at the image, Lex, I honestly was just like, "Oh, it's Phantom Pain." Like I wasn't thinking nothing of it, but then
Yeah.
you really take a hard look at it, and it's a big old red dildo, bro. But it matches so well.
No,
Whoever
exactly.
photoshopped that, it just looks like it's part of it.
It's
And
hidden
I
in
was
there.
like, "Oh my gosh, dude, Hideo Kojima! I can't believe you're selling this." No, I'm just
Metal
kidding.
Gear
Obviously,
Solid for
not real.
sure.
That was a good one though.
This is one that I saw actually just today as we're recording. It's after April Fools, but they Dave the Diver, they showed a they're saying the remaster coming out in 2049, which was a pretty funny one. Innocent, but so
Hmm.
silly. Like that's I love that
Yeah.
because it's like remasters are so crazy. This one I was like intrigued by. Like I'm like it looked real enough, but the Silent Hill pillow, and you sent it to me as well,
Oh,
and
I did. I did. Yeah,
and so
I
basically
sent you
like
that
when
one.
you turned it dark, it had the messages of Silent Hill. Like how imagine you're reading that,
Yeah.
and it looked legit enough where I'm like, wait, is this actually real?
Yeah.
Um,
There's so I don't know if you've ever seen this one, but I know we always talk about like April Fools that is like ill spirited and all that. And that's kind of what we're talking about. There was a April Fools back then when IGN was like really doing like they were doing a lot at the time. They had done an April Fool's joke, and it was about 14 years ago or something like that.
Mhm.
And it was basically it was a TV show for Harry Potter, and it was called The Aurors. Do you remember this?
No. The
Okay, so if you
Oars?
the Aurors, the guys that basically chase like what's it called, like
Hermione?
well, Hermione? No, they chase the bad guys basically.
Mm.
They're like cops of the
Oh, okay.
wizarding
Gotcha,
world.
gotcha. Yes, yes, yes.
And so they made the whole like a whole trailer of it. I'm gonna put it up on the thing. I know you guys can't hear it, obviously. But it basically starts off with them, and he's like chasing them. And I remember at the time when it was like 2011. I forget what movie had come out at the time, but they make it look so freaking cool.
Mhm.
Watch, can you see it?
It looks like a true crime drama. It doesn't even look like
Yeah, yeah,
Harry
right.
Potter.
No, but you'll see right now. Like it changes up a little bit. I'll skip ahead. Watch.
So for our
Is
viewers,
he?
it's basically showing these guys on a rooftop. The listeners, I mean, um, someone was getting
Is he?
chased.
Look at.
And, oh, the wands come out and they start fighting. That's pretty funny. The oars. Oh, okay.
Beep.
That's
But
pretty
I
cool.
remember thinking like, dude, as a like what
Oh, it
2011,
begins.
I remember thinking like, my gosh, that looks so freaking cool. Because the Aurors have always been cool. I always thought so. But
That's
this
true.
is one of my favorite. I always think about this one. Like I think
Yeah.
IGN did a great job
No, there were some
in
good
this
ones back in the
particular
day.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the people I was referring to is in the later movies where those guys are chasing them in the woods, and then it's like he's like,
Oh,
hello,
the Irish
Porter.
guys. All right,
Yeah,
they're
yeah. I don't know.
those
I
guys
can't
are
remember
like
the crazy.
oh my
Yeah, they're not
gosh.
good.
No, they're not. Oh my
But
god.
yeah, I won't. You can focus on that. There was another thing. I guess there was a twerking Venom in Marvel Rivals. I guess was something that was an
Was
April
that
Fool's
not
joke.
real?
That's what I thought because it came out before, but apparently it was part of a joke. I think from what I understand.
Really?
From
Because
what I
people
understand.
were like, I know it was like way before April Fools, and I remember
Yeah, I
the
mean,
big
but
thing was
again, they can come out, and just release it. It could be a long, slow burn of a joke. You know what I mean?
maybe
Um,
I remember seeing it, and I remember that it felt so real because everyone was complaining about it. Where they're like, "Oh, She Hulk did it, but you guys got all mad, but now
yeah,
he
yeah, they
does it."
got
And it was like
everyone
a whole
riled
thing, and I'm
up. I
like,
mean, maybe it
I
is
was like,
real,
so
maybe it is not. I don't think it is. Um,
that's
or maybe it
hilarious
is.
if
Or
it
maybe
is
I'm
real.
wrong. Maybe I didn't do my research correctly, but I'm
I
sorry
don't
if I
know.
false information here.
You
Um,
led me astray.
April Fools. I was joking. It was real. Um, one that I cracked up on was the GameStop art covering drawings. So GameStop released a statement saying like, "Hey, people have been asking for cover art for our pre-owned copies, so we're gonna have this guy. He's pretty good. He draws in the covers, and it's pretty funny. Like I was like, that's awesome. I love that. It's
You
just
sent it
like
on
these
Twitter,
really
yeah?
really terrible drawings, huh?
You sent it to me on Twitter or on
I
X.
did, yeah, and
That's
the really
hilarious.
terrible drawings, but it's pretty funny. I'm like, oh man, people still do physical, but I do obviously. I don't think I
Yeah.
really get pre-owned. Um, and this one that made me die. I sent it to you. I already knew it was a joke. The Last of Us spinoff game of Abby. And
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm not going to get into the spoilers of it, but one of the descriptions for it is like you'll learn her special skills with the golf club and her special tactics. If you know,
oh,
you know. Icky,
here's the
icky,
pictures. Yeah, yeah,
icky.
I see
Of what? Oh, the GameStop stuff.
it. Let me see if I can put it on screen real quick.
Yeah, there it is.
Elder Scrolls. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. I want 12 chicken nuggets.
So dumb. Good job, GameStop. Kudos to GameStop. They
That
finally
was a
did
good one. That
something
was
right.
a good one. They did it.
Okay,
They did it. Yeah, I wonder how much that's gonna cost though. Look
that's
at
what
those
it costs.
pre-owned games, bro. Pinkman, $54. Elder
Exactly.
Scrolls, brother, $37. Get the
I mean, we're gonna get into some more of pricing with this specific topic we're
Jesus.
talking about, but that's all the April Fool's stuff. If any comment for us, if there's any April Fool's joke that you all fell for and loved and thought was hilarious, or one that's worth mentioning from before, we would love to hear it. So let's get into the meat and taters. Well, I guess just the taters, maybe not the meat yet. But Ernie, what have you been playing since I last seen you?
Man, so I had this really what was that?
I didn't say anything.
You did. You went.
Oh, I went down. I went down like with my head. I these mics, man, they pick up everything.
No, yeah, they did. They pick it up because I heard it, and I was like, "Damn, dude,
We'll do an ad
he don't
for it
want to hear.
hopefully soon. You know,
He don't want to hear it, boys. He don't want to hear it."
on the road.
So yeah, I've been in this weird, as Lex, front of the cast here, says gaming lull. Right after I beat Veilguard Dragon Age, I just wasn't feeling like playing anything, and I couldn't figure it out basically. And so I was scouring the internets on what to play. And the Grand Bazaar, the Grand Berserk or something, I forget what it's called, had just come out. Obviously, Assassin's Creed Shadows came out, and a few other games. But I was just like, I don't know what to play. And I've been wanting to play Final Fantasy 16 for quite some time.
Yeah.
And I wanted to buy it on PC, but it was still like pricey. It wasn't like as cheap as I would have liked it to be. And I found a copy on Amazon for the PS5 for $18 used, right? And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try it out. I don't really buy used games at all, really, or physical.
Wait, did it have the cover art or was it drawn?
It had everything. It was drawn. It was drawn. And so yeah, so I ended up picking it up. And this is not an endorsement of Amazon. We don't get paid. I mean, if you want to throw some money, you know. But throw some money at us. But yeah, so I ended up buying it. It was like $18. It came out to 20 with all the tax or whatever. And the game came out perfectly fine. Like, it was like scratch free. All the art was in there. It felt like whoever had it took care of it, or whoever had it probably didn't even play it. But I ended up getting it and I put it in. I am now, like, from what I've seen in my PS5, it says I'm like 40% done with the game, but I highly doubt that. I think I'm reading it wrong, where it's like, I think I'm 40% done with a mission is how I didn't read it correctly. And so I wanted to ask you that if that's like a thing on the PS5 that shows you.
Oh, so when you like press the home button?
Yeah, it comes out.
Yes,
It says 40%.
yeah. So it'll show you the mission you're currently on. Yeah, because I was gonna say
okay.
there's no way, because you just
I was like, that's what I was thinking. I was like, there's no way. I told my brother too, my oldest brother. I was like, dude, I'm like 40% like done. It says. I don't know if that's true. I was like, I just started, and he goes, it's a short game, but yeah, no, that sounds weird too. So I was like, I don't know.
It's the mission.
So yeah, so I looked it up, and I was wrong. And I looked, and I have like quite a few bosses to finish, but I've been playing that game. Long-winded answer there, but yeah, I've been playing Final Fantasy 16. Fun game. I'm enjoying it. I like it so far. I like the combat. I think the story's pretty cool. I think the cutscenes are really cool. There's a lot of cutscenes. There's a lot. It's like, I think that's most of the game. I haven't had a lot of gameplay, which is kind of annoying because I want to play a game. I don't want to watch a game. If I wanted to watch a game, I'd watch my favorite streamer. You know what I mean? Like, there's ways around that. But yeah, it's been great so far. I'm really wanting to play right now, but I think after we finish the cast, I'm gonna try to finish the Elden Ring DLC with one of my buddies. I think he wants to play tonight, so I might end up playing that. But yeah, dude, that's all I've been doing. I haven't actually had a lot of time. I haven't been blessed with time to play a lot of games, so I've been just kind of doing that. I did. I mean, this is a side rant if you want to hear it. Yeah, but I've been collecting Pokemon cards recently, and I've been. But yeah, I was lucky enough to go to those things. I think they're called Pokemon centers. I don't remember. It's like a big thing, looks like a, what would you call that?
I would just say like a vending machine kiosk or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, so it's like sort of kiosk, and you're able to kind of like click all the cards that are selling. But it's crazy because obviously people know, and they go there and they freaking the scalpers and all that.
I actually did see you in one of those videos where people were fighting.
Yeah, it was me with the steel chair. I was like, no. So they have them there, and I like, luckily, and for whatever reason, near where I live, I was able to go after I dropping off my daughter at school, and I was able to go, and I was able to buy a few packs, and they had one that was a 10, and then one that had like 4 packs, so I was able to get it. But this was in different days, and I was like, this is so awesome. So I was able to do it. I was able to accumulate like about 15 cards, and the wife and I were laying in bed the other day, and I'm like, do you want to get a little crazy? And she's like, and then she looks at me, and I said, and then she smiles, and I'm like, let's open up these Pokemon cards. And she's like, oh, I'm just kidding.
Ah, you're
No,
dead.
I'm just kidding. No, I'm
Pokemon
joking.
battle.
I'm joking. She knew it was gonna be Pokemon.
No.
But yeah, so we opened up the cards and it was fun. I think, to be honest with you, Lex, I think the fun for me was having the cards unopened more so than opening them. I didn't
Yeah.
really have a good. I didn't really enjoy like the opening. I don't know why.
You didn't get a good pack, or you
I
just
I mean, I got a few good cards. I think I got one card that's like worth $27, but I'm
but
not
you
trying
wanted
to
to
sell.
preserve them.
Yeah, there was something about that I was
Do
like,
may
I
I ask
should
how
have
much do
opened.
these packs go for right now? How much are they?
So it
Does it depend
depends,
on what you
right?
get? Mhm.
Yeah, no, well, it doesn't depend. Well, yeah, it depends on what you get, but also like I think it depends on like if you get it from a scalper or like a person like a third
No,
party,
yeah.
right?
So the machine, yeah. How much?
I think it's like $5 a card.
Oh, oh, it's not
Yes, it's not
terrible.
like super
Oh,
expensive.
per a
It's just
card or per pack?
per pack, per like little pack.
Oh,
It'll be
okay.
like 5 cards, I think, or 10, something like that. I
Oh, okay,
forget.
that's not terrible.
No, no, it's not bad. It's just like when you get it from a third party. So
Of
I
course.
ended up collecting that, and then it was our friends, both of our friends, but Kyle Golden Doodle, friend of the cast, friend of the channel here. It was his birthday. He was turning 27. Shout out to him.
Happy birthday! Happy birthday!
And happy birthday. And so he like loves One Piece. He's the one that introduced me into it. Whatever, all the good stuff, right? And so there's a new trading card game for One Piece.
Hmm.
And the trading cards are like pretty new, so they shouldn't be going crazy, but now they are. And so there's this particular pack that I found, bro. I was looking like in different stores, bro, to find this particular pack and to see if it was like to find the cheapest version of it. And dude, it was like going for like $10, $8, and those things are like $5. They're not like, again, they're not expensive. But
Hmm.
I found a little Japanese store I found, and I bought him like 7 packs of it, like $45 for them,
Oh,
something like
nice.
that. Yeah, so I ended up giving
Hopefully he
that
doesn't
for
hear
his
that.
birthday.
Hopefully he doesn't hear that because he just docks the price.
Oh no, he knows. He asked.
I'm
He's like,
kidding.
"How much did you pay?" And I was like, "He's like, I don't even want to know." And I was like, honestly, it's funny because like I wouldn't have told him I don't care, but like when you look at the pack in the back, it says it. It
Oh
said the
yeah, I
price
mean,
and all. I
makes
was like,
sense.
oh well.
Makes
And so
sense.
he would have seen it either way.
Yeah,
And
word. Okay.
yeah, he opened. I gave him to him at work, and he opened them up, dude. It was cool. Honestly, the cards for One Piece are really, really pretty, like the art style and stuff. So I thought that was cool, but that's enough of me, my
All right,
friend. What
George.
have
We're a
you?
trading game card podcast now here.
I am. No, I know, right? What
I'm
about you,
kidding.
my friend? What have you been playing? What's been
So I
tickling
got
your
it.
fancy?
So I got back into Digimon cards. And no, I'm kidding.
Uh, I heard
Sorry.
you got into Beyblades. Started really ripping one off.
Little
Rip.
ripper. Anyway, um, so dude, I have not been into my Asus lately. I just in the PC games right now. I've really been into my PS5. I'm enjoying playing it. So I'm still working on Split Fiction. I think we're almost there. I would say maybe
Mm.
like 5 more hours.
How do you
We're getting.
know?
I don't. I just looked at like I looked online just to see what
Yo, 5 hours. I know.
because I just looked at like the chapter list and see where we're at, and we're getting towards the end. I think we have like two
Oh,
main
nice.
chapters left,
Okay.
but they look pretty beefy. So
Yeah.
it's been a blast, dude. That game, I'd recommend it. It's so fun, and my buddy, he really wants to play. He said, dude, I really want to come over and play because I think it would be more fun. I'm like, yeah, I think
Oh,
we should. I think
like in
like
person.
next to each other split screen,
Yeah.
yeah, like rather than online, it's still fun. But I'm like, dude, yeah, let's plan it. So when we get to the end, like, let's say, like, okay, let's wait and let's meet up and play it and try to beat it like that. And he's agreed, yeah, yeah, for sure. So I'll update on that. But dude, it's a blast. I would totally recommend that game. It is so much fun. I'm not like the story's fine. I'm not like super into it. I'm just more into like the game. Like every time a cutscene
Yeah.
happens, like it's kind of a typical what you would
Yeah.
expect
Hey,
kind of
sorry,
story. But
sorry to
like,
cut you off, brother. Keep going. I got to do something really quick, but I can hear you. Just keep going, okay?
okay. Um, Yeah. So, yeah, yes. So great, fantastic game. Story, I'm not like a big fan of, but well, I'm not a fan of it, but it's typical, like I said. But I'm just every time I see a cutscene, I'm like, I want to get back into the game. But the main game I've been playing, because with his schedule, it's kind of hard. He's had a newborn, so we play every couple hours or maybe a couple minutes here, a couple hours, an hour or two there. But the main game I've been playing on after that is Assassin's Creed Shadows. I'm still playing this game. I will say I am enjoying the game. I think I did something recently where that totally changed my experience. I think I talked about it last week, but there's a so during the game you have to find obviously the characters you need to assassinate, and you have to. It'll tell you where there are. It'll be like it's east of this region, west of this town, and you just have to go look around for yourself to go um, see if you can find them in Mumble. So like that was fine, and I get it. If your playstyle is that and that's what you wanna do, sure, but I'm like, "You know what? I don't wanna do this," and So I turned on guided exploration. This is an option in the game that you can have. Once that was on, it showed me everyone where they're at, and it's such a better experience. I'm like, dude, this is so much better. Now I can just go and just go kill these guys and without having to be like, oh, now I gotta go look for them. So it's funny because like in the game you get scouts. So you can use scouts to go look for your objective in these areas where it says like, oh, it's in this area. But now that I have that on, my scouts aren't really doing anything. So like it's like you have unused scouts. And I'm like, oh man, but like they can grab resources for you from like a base because you have a little thing called a hideout where you can make like a dojo, a stable, and I'm still building. It's pretty cool. I don't spend too much time there, but it's a cool little feature if you really want to make like a little base, which is pretty awesome. Um, but yes, I would recommend honestly if you're not a big fan of having to investigate yourself, especially in Assassin's Creed. It's like I kind of don't want to do that. Like just turn on the guided exploration. It makes it so much easier. And I was telling Ernie, I did this mission like today where like I had to go into like dress up for a little tea party and like infiltrate it because I'm looking for someone who, to get vengeance on. And like you're basically just going through the motions and like throughout it's a little cutscene most of the time and you're doing your choices. And then later on like you evaluate the three people and her inner monologue, now her little inner monologue goes off. It's like, oh, but this person is more like me, and she kind of seems like this, and you kind of have to guess, like, okay, who's it gonna be? And like, and you guess, and like the person's like, oh, I knew you're looking at me funny, and then like you have to find them, and like, so I had to go find her in her base, but she has all the guards ready, like it's so you have to sneak past, and she's waiting at the top of like this little like fortress thing, just waiting for you, like watching out. And I snuck up behind her. I tried to assassinate, but I wasn't strong enough, so we fought a little bit. But dude, it was pretty awesome. It was like
That sounds really fun.
it was a really cool thing, and then, like
Yeah.
and recently, so I did a little mission for, like, this person, and now they're, like, a recruit of mine, and I just unlocked this, like, a little buddy, so if I'm doing a little base, I can call them to come in and help me fight, like, if I need them, and it's pretty awesome, so, like, I was against strong characters, I'm like, "Oh, let me call her in." She comes in, messes people up a little bit, and then she goes, "Alright, later," and just takes off, it's so funny, like, they just run away, I'm like, "Alright, later," and dude, I'm having a great time with the game. I think
Yeah.
honestly, I'm really enjoying it. I haven't even scratched the surface. I just told her I got this
Yeah.
new weapon. It's like a mace in a way, and like it is awesome. I shared a clip with you today
You
of
did.
me assassinating, and like it changes like the whole art style, and it is great. I'm having a good time. I would
Now.
recommend the canon mode. Don't do that because it's an option to like choose your dialogue, and it's like it's not really doesn't really matter, honestly, in the end. Like, rather have them not have me choose my dialogue and just have it. It's called canon mode. I don't know if it's on or off that is the one you need. But
Yeah.
regardless, I'm
That's
having a
cool,
blast
man.
playing it. I'm
All right,
about
well,
almost
qu-
7 hours in. Go ahead.
question for you.
Yes.
Now, my friend, we played a lot of Assassin's Creed games. Do you feel like you're going to beat this one?
I'm gonna try my best. So you were asking me as well, like, how do you know what is like the main story. And you know what? I was thinking about it, and I was looking at it today, and actually you can tell what is the main story because you have a
Yeah.
main wheel of people you need to kill, another wheel unlocked, but it's basically for like a person in like the world that's a side quest. Like, hey, can you take out these leaders, and I'll do this for you or whatever, or like help our town, but basically helping like just free these people like of these atrocities. You know what I mean? So you can tell what's real. I mean, you sent me some guy who was like complaining, like, "Oh, I can't figure it out," but like you kinda can. If you really looked at it, like, you kinda know the main story of where you have to go, and without that guided exploration, like, once you turn that on, like, it makes it a lot easier, so, I'm having a blast. I really hope I finish it. I'm definitely I mean, I kinda talked about it with you, like, I like the feature that it's not everything's in my face. You have to press L2 to focus on to see if there's any, like, things you can collect, like loot or costumes or whatever. Um It's not like Valhalla where everything's on your screen, right? And you can just see everything. It's like, "Oh, now I wanna go here." And not a lot of it happens, like, it's not everywhere. Like, you have to go into a base or something like that to find these collectibles. They're not just all over the place and in, like, trees, you know what I mean? Some are, but, like, it's not as bad. So, I like it. I'm enjoying it. I definitely am gonna try to beat it. I will report back. I haven't even locked, Yasuke. I'm not even at him yet.
Yasuke.
I think I'm almost to him, and I'm about almost 7 hours in the game. Um,
That's
so,
crazy.
I played you play with him in the beginning,
Yeah.
but then you play mostly with, Naoe, which she's awesome, dude. She's very fluid in her movements. She's like when you jump off things, she, like, does little flips, and it's like, God, it's cool, and she has a cool little grappling hook that I love. It's fun, man. I'm enjoying it. Um, yeah, I don't hate it. I'm not like everybody else who's like, "I hate this game," and it looks pretty. I mean, I had the regular PS5, and I think it looks fine. It looks great. So, yeah, I don't know if you're it looked like you're listening,
Yeah,
but,
I was
that's it right now, man. That is what I've been playing, long-winded as well. I just wanted to get into with you guys. I'm trying to, like, hopefully people are, like, listening and be like, "Oh, like, he's kinda selling me on it," because I know people are very hesitant with the game. I mean, if you like Assassin's Creed, I think this is a good one. I obviously haven't played Odyssey and all that, but and Origins, but yeah, good times. So let's get into the news topic of the week. Obviously, we talked a little bit of Switch, the legacy, and that was a bit intentional, right? Because as of I believe this morning, right, is when we got all the Switch 2
yeah,
news,
6 in the morning
price,
Pacific Standard Time.
release date, what their plan is for the first party games, new game prices, third party games. It's a lot of stuff that's thrown at you. Before I get into it, I just want to like, what are your first impressions from the Switch? Like, are with everything that came out, we're gonna get into more detail now, or we can save it later. But let's just do it now. Like, are you sold on the Switch? Are you gonna get the Switch now
To
that
be
I know
on
last week you're like, I'm gonna save up my Pokemon cards and catch them all. Good.
honestly, yeah, dude. S- So, I mean, I want to talk about my sort of, reaction to the game to the Nintendo Direct because it started off positive, you know? I think I was very, very excited of what I was seeing here. I was like, dude, this is gonna be awesome, right? Like what we're getting. Look at it's like the craziest upgrade, but it's a pretty substantial upgrade, especially for the Nintendo Switch that's been out for years now at this point. So it was about time. I know the OLED came out, but the OLED is nothing compared to what we're gonna get for the Nintendo Switch 2. So I was excited. I was definitely sold. Lex, I was sold. After finishing the direct, I'm a little hesitant now, right?
Mhm.
And I mean, and it really depends on, I guess, moving forward how we are gonna, be with our games, right? Because now, if you guys don't know, you will find out eventually if you keep listening to this episode. Games are gonna be $80, $90, right?
Yeah, yeah. I
And
mean, they don't have to keep listening now. You just revealed it.
I know, but
Kidding.
we'll talk
I
more
know. I'm
about
kidding.
which games and all that. But now that's a pretty substantial amount of money. I know people are going to be like, "Well, the Nintendo 64 when that was out in this particular time frame, it was this and that." Okay, yeah, sure, yeah,
Yes, inflation. Yes, we know.
yes, we know. Doesn't make it right. Doesn't make it okay. Doesn't make it like we're all going to be able to afford it.
Mhm.
If you think people couldn't afford $60 games, what makes you think people are going to be able to afford an $80 game? I'm not saying everyone is down bad or not, but it's going to be a lot more choosy with the games that they do end up purchasing. And that's going to be a way different story. And I was telling you this prior to this. Um we definitely are going to have a pre-orders are going to be a little different now. I think this might be the death of
Peop
pre-orders.
People are gonna be more hesitant. Yeah, definitely. I
Yeah.
I wanna I wanna say too, like, let's think about it. Obviously we're older, but let's think about it when we were kids. Imagine a kid going up to like their mother or their parent or whoever their guardian is and asking for this. And what if,
Yeah.
back in our day, obviously we didn't know the struggles of our parents. Like we're asking, we're like, well, we got these games. Now these games, how is a little kid gonna be like, hey mom, I want this game for $90? She's like, "What? Are you serious? Like, you're gonna be waiting for Christmas, like, you gotta save up your money."
That's
Like,
the
you know what I
thing.
mean? Like,
Yeah, that's yeah.
it's a tough sell. And, let me just get into a little bit of this. So the release date is June 5th. Pre-orders start April 9th. Now, I don't care the price for the Switch it's I think it's fine. $450, I think that's makes sense. I'm honestly surprised it's not higher. Um, but there's also no OLED screen. Obviously the games are gonna be expensive. Now, for me, I'm gonna tell you what I reacted. I was like, I had already told you I wasn't probably gonna get the Switch 2, and I think after seeing this, I was like, "You know what? I don't think I have a need for it." I mean, obviously, I don't play the Switch one at much. I would love to play the new games that were announced, on it, but dude, I just have no way of really justifying, like, to get it. Like, again, with the prices with the games, it's wild, and the thing with Nintendo is they don't go down. And I was joking with Ernie, I'm like, "Gosh, is the ones for the first Switch, are they gonna go up to 80? They're gonna instead of going down because Mario Odyssey is still
I
like
mean,
60 bucks, you know what I mean? Like, it's
yeah, no, the game is
and
the
that's been
games
out
are
for years.
pricey, bro. Still, but they're
Yeah.
still
Mhm.
going for the amount of money that you've seen them for. Like I just saw Tears of the Kingdom is going to be $70. I think, and
The
then
enhanced version, right? It's
yeah, the enhanced version, which is ridiculous. That is crazy. But I did find out that if you do own the original copy and you have Nintendo Switch Online Plus, you'll get it for free, supposedly.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's pretty crazy, bro. Like listen, and I know we're gonna get into this, and we're talking a lot of negative stuff right now, but and I was talking to you about this. They're selling you the Nintendo Switch, right?
Mhm.
And I'm assuming it comes with a dock. If it doesn't, the dock itself is like an extra amount of money, and
Mhm.
I think it's like
It has to,
maybe
yeah.
two
Mhm.
hundred, but it has to come with it. I can't see this thing coming out without that being a thing. I know I sent you a tweet where it was like kind of like breaking it down of how many like things it comes with. But yeah, dude, it's crazy to me because I know I know that the big thing was like, hey, let's get your. Why don't you just buy a PC instead of a PS5? You remember this or PS5 Pro? You
Yes.
remember this?
Mhm.
And I know
Mhm.
you were like, well, that's stupid because a PC is still going to be pretty expensive. And I'm like, yeah, you are correct. It'll a PC will be a little bit more expensive. But to be quite honest with you, in the long haul, that's going to save you money. Now,
Mhm.
you could do this mathematically in your head, and which long terms is going to cost you less money then. And yes, a lot of money for the PC up front now, but when you boil it down to it, in the future, it's going to cost you way less
Mhm.
because games are cheaper. Eventually, parts will get cheaper. You don't have to always upgrade to the craziest gen graphics card. That's not you don't have to. You
Yeah.
can get I have a 4070 Ti, and that is great for me. I love it. I know
Mhm.
people have like the 1590 or whatever, and that's like like $2,000, some crazy stuff like that.
Yeah, I will say too, like, I have a PC as well. I have PlayStation, I have Nintendo, I have my Asus. I love them all. I do. For me, I'm very big on the plug and play. That's why I love my PlayStation. I can just plug it in,
Yeah,
it's gonna update whatever the game, however long, and then I'm done.
but that's the
PC, I
thing.
gotta do drivers, I gotta do, I gotta make sure my thing's up to date, I gotta you know what I mean? And
It's
that's
more
fine. I don't
manual,
mind that I don't mind that either, but, I love it all. And again, like you said, it's cheaper. Yes, I have games that are just pennies on the dollar, right? Um, but then eventually, the games like everything, the games are gonna get better. You're gonna need better. PlayStation 6, PlayStation, the next PC upgrade, next Nintendo Switch 2, fine. Now, the thing that makes me mad about the Nintendo Switch 2 is like, why aren't they just gonna get the OLED screen? Like, why not just add that there now?
more money.
Why? Yeah, of course, but like, come on, they can do it. They're not. And then they're gonna come out with another version with an OLED probably a year or two after, and be like, all right, and then like people are gonna buy it. You know?
Yeah,
Um,
I think that's the reason that they do a lot. Like the next iteration of it will definitely be OLED, but I don't know. I mean, I
yeah.
can't.
Now, look. I'm not, before we keep going, like, I just want to say, like, even this PlayStation, Xbox, or whatever was doing stuff like this, we would be talking like this. We're not hating on Nintendo. We're not. We're just, we're just saying it like what we think about it. PlayStation. We're not loyal to any fan base. Obviously, we love every console. We love all these systems. I just want to say that because I know it sounds like we're bashing, which, again, it always happens. Everyone batches on all these new generations. But like the other thing, it's there's a whole list of games that aren't going to be compatible with the Switch 2 that are going to have issues, and it was like a list of like over 100. It's like, man, that's rough. Like, come on, like they gotta. Maybe it's going to fix off probably eventually, but that's rough, right? I don't know. And someone's going to want to, turn in their old Switch for another game, and like, oh, I can't even play my old game. You know,
Yeah.
it's
You're right, man.
interesting.
Hey, do me a favor. Can you kind of like go through the direct a little bit, kind of like give people a brief of like what we got, just slightly.
Yeah. So
I'll be back. Go ahead.
Nintendo Switch was, the Switch, the Switch was announced. We had that they show the Joy Cons. I guess one of the Joy Cons is like a mouse, which seems pretty cool. They have a little game chat to play with friends, which is fun as well. We'll see how that is. Called Game Share. Like you can share a game with friends who don't own compatible games, so they can play together. I don't know exactly how that's going to run. I think Ari had sent me a tweet earlier about someone screen sharing. And it's all like pixelated and everything, which is pretty funny. Um, they love the accessories. Obviously, they announced the Mario Kart, which we discussed not last week, but I think a couple weeks ago. The Mario Kart World, exclusive to Switch 2, which we figured, but which looks pretty awesome. I would love to be able to play this game, to get my hands on this game. It is basically an open world Mario Kart, which is pretty awesome. Lots of gameplay for it. They show you a lot of stuff that's going on, and it's ambitious, and that is awesome. I'm glad it's going to be a Switch 2 exclusive, sadly. So us other switchers are not going to be able to play. I mean, you can turn in your old Switch if you want, but it looks like a great time. I mean, I'm a big fan of Mario Kart, and the other game that was announced was Donkey Kong Bonanza, which there's like a new look for Donkey Kong. It kind of looks like the new Shrek. Everyone was mad about the new Shrek. Um, I didn't really watch the trailer too much, but that looks awesome as well. I mean, I love Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong's fun. But basically, that was pretty much it, I think. And there was a Kirby game, and then everything else after that was The Legend of Zelda, like Ernie mentioned, with the enhanced version, which is awesome. Better graphics, but it's like same price. Like, oh man, come on. But if you can upgrade for free, like you said, that'd be pretty awesome as well. Um, I mean, I feel like the Zeldas on the first one look pretty good as already, and I like them already. But I'm curious of how better they're gonna look. I mean, I watched a little bit of the trailer. Kinda looks the same to me, but I mean, someone's gonna yell at me. We got the Metroid Prime 4, which is pretty awesome. I mean, I never been a big Metroid player. I would love to play it, but, I'm not gonna have the Switch 2. And also, a couple other things, but then the main thing was a bunch of third-party games are also coming out. There's, like, I'm sorry, not Bloodborne, Elden Ring, a game called Dust Bloods from FromSoft, which people were saying that looks like Bloodborne. Uh Cyberpunk, just a big old list of these games, and I'm really curious to see how they're gonna play because I know what else? I'm sorry, Final Fantasy Split Fiction, which is pretty awesome. I think it's gonna be great. Tony Hawk Pro Skater, and they showed him skating in Bikini Bottom. Um, that is awesome. Like, that's freaking really cool. But, like, I'm just curious, like, how are these gonna play? Because on the first Switch, you know, these games, third party games especially, didn't run the best. So I'm really curious to see how it happen and how it goes. I mean, I honestly, I think that's a great way to play these games. I mean, you got what, Star Wars Outlaws, Hitman, Yakuza. It looks cool. I mean, I know we'll talk about it a little bit more. I'm sure he's excited for the Bloodborne style looking game. I think everyone was like, "Ah, it looks like Bloodborne" for the Elden Ring Dust. What was it called? Dust Bloods, or whichever it was called. So yeah, the Switch is coming out June 5th, which I think we were right. I think we had said something around June, which is pretty awesome. Um, but yeah, then there's that issue with the games, man. They want to charge $80 digital for a game, and then $90 physical for a game, which is rough. Like, that is rough. I just I don't know, and that's scary because now all other systems are going to want to be doing that. And, yeah, I think it's just pretty wild. But Ernie, I know, were you excited for that Elden Ring game, the
Yeah, I
Dust Bloods?
definitely was, and I'm so sorry about leaving due to my daughter's not having a great time in her bed
Okay,
right now.
yeah,
She's
you had me
that's why I'm
filibust
leaving.
you had me filibustering there, dude. I was like,
I did. I heard it. So I can hear you the whole time. I had my headphones on.
I figured, yeah, I know.
But it was funny because you're like, you're doing a great job. I thought so. I thought because I was like, oh, that's pretty good. He's right. He's right. But yeah, dude, I'm very excited for that. The one thing that I saw now, I don't know if this is true or not. It's a multiplayer game, so it's basically Night Ray,
Mhm.
or what is it? I forget what the new Elden Ring is going to come out. What's it called?
Oh,
Night
Night Rain.
Night Rainer. That's what it is. Sorry, I always forget. But basically, it's that game, but on the Nintendo Switch too. That's awesome. I love that. It looks more like Bloodborne than it does Elden Ring, which is awesome. It's like I was kind of sold already there when I saw that. I was like, dude, I'm sold. I cannot wait.
Mhm.
But the
Well,
problem is
like, what sorry, what are your thoughts
no
on
good.
third party? Do you think Do you think it's gonna be better than the first, Switch? How do you think they're gonna
No,
run
yeah,
it?
definitely. Yeah, I think so. I think it's gonna. I think they're trying to. That was the thing that Nintendo was talking about a while ago. Was their third party sort of doubling down on it, right? It's because
Yeah.
one of the things that you want is retention on your console, and Nintendo can only have so many Nintendo games that they make that are first party or exclusive to the console. But it's like, I want to go play Call of Duty, I want to go play this, and it's like, how do I keep you on my console? And so the third party push is going to be probably like, here, let me throw some money at you, Microsoft, so you guys can bring Call of Duty over here and like develop it for the Nintendo Switch, make it easier to play here. And I think that like, I think moving forward, you're going to see less likely um development teams use their own proprietary sort of like engine. I think they're going to start trying to use like one particular engine that everyone can kind of use. Like, I know Unreal Engine 5 is not the best right now, but
Mhm.
that, like, it's like Fortnite basically runs on everything, and I think that's what they're going to try to do moving forward. Is like, let me scale this game down so it could work on this console, and I think they're going to do it for the Nintendo Switch. I think moving forward, yeah, there's going to be a lot of third party games. Well, whether they're going to run great, I don't know. That's to the
Yeah.
developer to do. Like The Witcher 3, right? We talked about in the last episode. The Witcher 3 ran surprisingly well, but it was like, but it the graphics took a hit. Like, if you go look at it, it's awful. It looks like clay, but it worked.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what I
it's too
mean?
bad.
And I think the big thing is like, just make sure that it runs well,
Uh-huh.
right? Like, that not just graphically looks pretty, but that it runs well.
Yeah.
It's
Are
gonna
you
go ahead.
sorry. Oh, I was gonna say finish I was sorry, I was gonna change the subject, but if you wanted to finish up on that one, you can.
No, go
Um,
ahead.
I was gonna ask you, are you bummed that you won't be able to play Mario Kart World on the Switch one?
No, I mean, I mean, I have yet to see what the
There's gonna be a direct
Nintendo.
on the 17th for it, so well, we can
Exactly. So
talk
I
about
have yet to
news.
see what Mario Kart World is doing that it can't do on the Wii, on the Switch 1.
Yeah.
I think that's the telling sign. I know it's
Well,
like,
it's
oh,
open world.
the
Mhm.
party chat and open world, but it's like, we had an open world Breath of the Wild Zelda, and it was like pretty darn big, right? And you did a lot of
Mhm.
cool stuff on there, Tears of the Kingdom as well. It's like, what is stopping them to doing that on Mario Kart now? Well, at least in my perspective, I'm sure
Mhm.
there's going to be all kinds of technical mumbo jumbo we don't understand, but there's more gigawatts, and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Mhm.
But that's my thought process. Is like, I want to see what this game is doing that you couldn't do on the original, right?
Mhm.
And
I
I think I was telling you this before though, which I'll sum up briefly. But I was talking about the Switch 2, and I'm like, well, a lot of people are gonna want the Switch 2, yeah, but there's gonna be like this random like group of people who are gonna want to stay with the Switch 1, or
No,
like
of course.
another iteration, or like iteration of it, where it's like that like middle selling point for the person that can't afford the 2 or wants to buy the $80 game. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
they've got to make something like that. It's gonna be like the Xbox Series S, but actually it's gonna do probably better than that. My assumption, though. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sad this wasn't announced, but also I'm not because if I'm not planning on getting it, like the new Mario Odyssey game, like like if they dropped the second one, I'd be like, oh man, I'm like now I'm bummed that I'm not getting this. But hopefully they don't make that just exclusive for the Switch too. But it is Nintendo, so they probably will. I was kind of disappointed with the amount of like there wasn't a lot of first party games that kind of got announced. Um, I mean there was a couple, but you know what I mean. It wasn't anything. I mean, obviously Mario Kart, Donkey Kong, some Kirby, Metroid, like I mentioned, but yeah, I mean, where's some other stuff? Like, where's a new Super Smash or something like that? I mean, I'm not a huge Super Smash person, like I said, but I don't know. Well, what game? I mean, I think we talked about it last time. What game would you wanted to see if there was a game that they
Yeah,
wanted to be announced?
I think probably something having to do with Mario. I mean, I think that's like a big selling point.
Of course, yeah, Mario Kart.
Um, but yeah, I mean, you're right, but like something Super Mario, like something like in the
Mhm.
realm of like Super Mario World, but like 3D. You know what I mean? something doing with like an original but
Yeah.
remake, you know, something
Or like,
something
yeah,
like
remaster
that.
Galaxy, like something like
Yeah,
that.
exactly. And like, you know, but like, yeah, Mario Kart is awesome. That's gonna sell well. People love that game.
Oh yeah, it's
I
great.
I still like it. Like looking at the Nintendo Switch too, and like I said about Mario, what is it called, Worlds?
Hmm.
Yeah. So like looking at it again, it's like the big selling point is like the sort of social aspect of it, right? Being able to go and travel like this open world together.
Hmm.
It sounds cool, but it's like, is that like the big thing that people are gonna like? That's what people wanted. Was that like, man, I want to play Nintendo Switch with my friends online? It's like they could have gone on Discord.
That too, yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Do they have? They
So
don't
I
have
don't know.
Discord for Nintendo, huh?
No,
Other than
I mean, this might be the push towards that, but I highly doubt it, just because they want to keep the Nintendo's like sort of ecosystem to themselves in this sort of way, because
mm,
at the end of the day, you have to protect the kids, right? Like
yeah,
they
exactly.
this is a concept for the kids, right? They want to have the control, like the parental control, being able to like view who's joining whose party and all
Of
that stuff.
course. Yeah. The other thing
You
I
know
didn't
what I
mention
mean?
that got announced as well is that GameCube games are going to be coming exclusively to the Switch 2 via Nintendo Switch Online. I mean, I wasn't, I didn't really, I didn't have a GameCube. I wasn't really part of that era as hard. I mean, I played games on it, so I'm not particularly bummed. But I know people were probably going to be because, I mean, I don't know if you are like, are you like kind of bummed about that? That
I
you,
didn't
if
even know it was an exclusive Switch too. I thought it was just
oh
coming online for everyone.
yeah, I just saw it's exclusive now.
That is crazy. I mean, it's not like the Switch 2 could. I mean, the Switch 1 can't run those games. I think this is just a way to, you know, have a selling point
Oh, yeah,
of
they'll
like
kind of entice. Yeah.
games, or of for the, you know, entice me to buy the Switch 2. Dude, it sucks, but
Mhm.
also like, do I really care? Like, we could just do it.
I
We
know
could
you're
just,
not
you
gonna. You're
know,
probably not gonna play those games anyway.
yeah. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna play those games. That's not a selling point to me. A selling point to me for the Nintendo Switch 2 is like the first party games, like the things
Yes.
that
Mhm.
are like, oh, freaking the new Pokemon you could only play here, the
I
new
mean,
Mario. You know what I
mm,
mean?
I mean those games are great on the Switch Online. Like I love seeing like, oh, I can play Super Mario 3, Super Mario Brothers 3 or whatever on my Switch. But like when you go on those apps, like there's so many other games that I don't even like just ignore. I just go straight to that. You know what I mean? There's maybe a couple games, but for the
Yeah.
most part, it's like I only want that one game. Which I guess that entices you as well. I did see someone tweeted that look, I got all these Nintendo games on my PC already, and it's all the ones that they announced, which is pretty funny. I was like, that's hilarious
Yeah.
because
I saw this thing. I saw this tweet. I should have sent it to you. I ended up showing one of our buddies, Kyle, as well. But because he has a Steam Deck, and basically it's a picture of like, these are all the games that were announced on the Nintendo Switch 2 that you can play on the Steam Deck right now. And I
yeah,
was like, oh my gosh, that is so crazy, because this, like, I think I was talking to I might be wrong, but I was talking to someone, or someone had mentioned, they're like, the Steam Deck is still more powerful than the Switch 2.
of course, yeah. And then I have
And
my
that's
Asus as
crazy to
well,
me.
right?
I
I
was
can
like,
still play these games as well.
yeah, and I'm like, that's crazy. And even your Asus, right? Like, I was
Mhm.
talking to I was talking to Kyle, and I was like, Kyle's like, I'm like, a part of me now is just like, might as well just invest in an Asus. Like, get
Yeah.
all that money that I was going to use for this console and just buy an Asus, or buy the next iteration of whatever drops.
Mhm.
Because, like,
I,
yeah, the first, go ahead.
no, no, keep going, please.
I was gonna say, but because, yeah, at the end of the day, yeah, like all these first parties are awesome, but like, if I truly want a handheld experience with like every game, and for a cheaper price, and, you know, there I go, like, get myself a freaking PC handheld.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, again, like if this is your console, that it's great. Like that's awesome. Like not everyone has the luxury of having all these other consoles, which is fine as well. But like, yeah, I mean, so I was gonna interrupt you because I was reading the accessory list, and I do see an option for a Nintendo Switch 2 dock set for $109.99.
See, that's what I was
So
telling you.
I'm
It just
assuming
is
there's
not
not gonna be
included.
it's not gonna come with it. It looks like it. That
That is
is
wild.
that'd be pretty wild. I mean, I don't know. Again, I don't know for sure, but I feel like but it also says a Nintendo Switch 2 AC adapter for $30. So I think these are just accessories, but they have to come with that stuff, right? I don't know, but I don't know.
Why would they tell you that those are coming out separately though? Like, what is
They're just giving me the
the
different prices. Yeah, this is what's being shared. So yeah, I don't know. I
yeah,
mean,
but I'm
but
curious to see if it's like, oh, like this is the reason like that we are like, sort of we're doing this like because it doesn't come with it or because you're gonna want the extra. Like why do you want the extra?
yeah, you wouldn't want the extra dock set, but I mean, hey, if something breaks, I guess that's when
I
you get
don't
it.
know.
But I'm gonna
At the
try
end
to
of
see
the
if I can
day,
pull up.
if you end up getting the Switch 2 and it comes with the dock, keep that. Wait for a third party seller to make it because now there's like third party sellers for the Nintendo Switch
Mhm.
that are docked and they're much better than the dock that it comes with. And
Yeah.
it comes with like it already comes. But, I know the OLED you have comes with the Ethernet port, but the new one comes with like the third party ones will have an Ethernet port, a better like battery thing. It's like it's way better.
Yeah, it's wild, man. I mean, look, I'm looking at one of the game links for or like a link for the console. So it looks like it comes with the screen. Obviously, there is a dock that supports. So there it looks like there is a dock that's going to come with it. Luckily, so
Okay.
I was gonna say, I was like, hey, 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 and
Yeah,
you get your
dude.
gun, so that's good. I mean, I would have been like, There's no way they're gonna do it without it. That'd be insane." But where's the picture of the AC cable? I don't know, but I'm sure that has to come with it if it doesn't have that. But
That'd be
yeah,
so wild if they give you the
imagine they're
dock
just like,
and
"Hey,
everything, and it's like, nah, you know what?
you still gotta buy the cord. You gotta wait
Yeah,
longer." Like, what the hell?
it's like now
I
when you buy an iPhone, right? They used to give you a charger and a wire, and now it's like I don't even
yep.
think you get a wire or a charger, if I'm not mistaken. But
No, you don't get any of that. Not even headphones anymore.
yeah, which is
Um,
so
You gotta
crazy.
buy the block and the cord on no, I think you might still get the cord, but you don't get the block. You have to buy
Oh,
the
okay.
block on its own. I haven't bought a new phone in a while. It's been like 3
Oh,
years, so
you're a
I
blockhead.
we'll see what so
You're
yeah,
like
man, I mean, that's all I
total
really have to say on the Switch 2. I mean, I don't know if
peanuts.
there's anything else you wanna throw in there. I mean, this is there anything you wanted to touch on or
I mean,
we did it justice. It's a wild times we're facing in the gaming community here. No, I'm kidding.
no, I mean,
Um,
I mean, one thing I want to talk about is that I thought was
mhm,
kind of funny was I mean, if we can, the party chat, right?
mhm.
I know that I told you it's the big
Like the separate chat or
social,
the one in Mario Kart? Just the separate one, right? You're
just
talking
in
about the game
general.
chat?
I mean, you could do it both, right?
Yeah,
In both, you're able to, freaking chat while
and
you're
share the
playing a
game.
game or chat while you're playing different games, and that's cool. That's kind of like what you do on Discord, right? Now it's
Yes.
just coming to the Nintendo Switch, but it's so funny because they show it and like they're showing the shared screen of the friends, and it's so choppy and
Yeah, that
like so terrible. I'm like, why would you guys who in their right mind was like, oh, that is cool.
let's show them.
Like, does it vary, between game or like why are we
Yeah,
seeing it so choppy? Like,
there was
what?
also something too about the cartridge, right? Isn't like you have to have a certain piece of the cartridge or something like that? What how I forgot what that was
So
exactly.
for the cartridge,
Mhm.
if you buy the physical copy of a game,
Yeah.
you still need to download the digital game. It's not really in the cartridge.
I mean, that's kinda what
Um,
games for X they've been doing already, right? The PlayStation and the Xbox and all that.
I guess so, but like that's gonna dude, I'm telling you, bro, the market is gonna dictate itself, and there's gonna be emulation off the yin yang now that is gonna
Yes.
be so crazy. And now because of what Nintendo has done and gone through all these like taking down all these sort of like
Cease and
emulators, all
desist.
this
Mhm.
stuff, they just coming out the woodworks, getting all these people. Um, People are gonna get savvy with the way the tech like the sort of lawsuit sort of mumbo jumbo and figure it out, and they're going to be able to do it without them, you know,
Yeah.
being able to stop them, which is
Mhm.
crazy because at the end of the day, if they end up figuring it out, and I know people will because they're going to get pissed about the pricing, they're going to
Mhm.
end up freaking. There's going to be emulation a lot quicker, and people who are smart are going to be able to bring it out. It's going to be so interesting, bro.
Yeah,
I'm really
definitely.
curious.
I do wanna touch on this last thing, which I
Good.
thought is pretty cool. I hope I believe it's real. If it's not, I apologize, but Nintendo was adding an anti-scalper, measures for Switch 2 pre-order. So these are for pre-order invites, right? So to get an invite code to get this pre-orders of these games, whether it's through Nintendo or whatever, I'm not sure if it's any retailer. I don't think it is. I think it's just directly Nintendo, I'm assuming. But customers must have purchased Switch Online membership for at least 12 months and played 50 plus hours on Switch One, which is pretty cool. But eventually, it's still not going to help the scalpers, right? And it's funny because the comments are like, "Wait, what if I didn't get the Switch One? I never had the Switch One." But also these are pre-order invites, right? So I think it's just pretty funny, and I think it's pretty cool that they're doing that because obviously people are going to try to do that. But again, I think like you said before, like the Switch One was never really out of stock, right? They always had the supply. No, am I wrong? Is that what you said about the first one?
Yeah, I don't remember it going out. I mean, I remember always seeing it, but I don't recall if I said this or not because it had
Yeah.
been so long since we had
No,
that
yeah. It
discussion.
might be
But
different with this one because it's got more bells and whistles, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna see. We'll see what happens, everyone.
possibly, I'm kind of curious to see if like what ends up happening is like they end up like releasing it and everyone's just buying them like crazy. But it's like they're gonna
Yeah.
make enough. It's not like we're in short demand like we were during COVID. Like
Yeah.
there's gonna be an abundance of them, so it doesn't matter if scalpers are buying it and all that. It's just gonna they're gonna end up selling it to people who can't wait.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's like
Well, that's
at
the thing with
like
scalpers too.
what
People that can't wait. They want it. That's the sad thing.
exactly. But I remember like at the end of the day with the scalpers when the PS5 Pro had come out or whatever the new PS5 had Slim or whatever I think they were like they bought abundance of them again and tried to resell them, but it's like they ended up just having a bunch of
Yeah.
these extra ones because they weren't selling because they were still in stores. Like people were able to go
Hmm.
physically pick up a freaking PS5. It wasn't like it was before.
Yeah.
So the market
It's pretty
dictates
funny.
itself, dude. Like the people are sell like people will you're voting with their wallet, and I mean this is cool. Like you said, it kind of sucks because yeah they are kind of um I don't know if they're gonna end up uh you know like when they end up selling it, I'm wondering if they're gonna end up like like when reselling again when Christmas times comes out, and they're like, oh, now we're gonna get the better version of it or whatever. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
where it's like, oh, now you get the Pokemon version. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Lack of a Pokemon game too. I just realized. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's crazy, but I mean, yeah, we're gonna see what happens. We'll report back for sure when it releases and see how it does. As far as people are gonna buy this. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not gonna not be bought. But I think that's all I have to say on the Switch too. If there's anything else you want to say, or
No, man. That's it, man. Oh, I mean, no, I can. Like as always, my friends. I would like to thank the audience for tuning in every week when we drop an episode. We appreciate it, and we appreciate you. We drop an episode every Friday. Please follow us and give us a subscribe. Hit the subscribe button, I should say, on our YouTube channel. It'll help us out immensely. Uh, please follow us at checkpoint_reached on Instagram. There, I and Lex will be there to discuss. If you want to talk to us about games, anything, we are on there. The DMs are open. Please be a cordial or we could discuss, but don't get mad at Lex for for loving I don't know, I can't think of anything for loving the cow in Mario Kart World, but you don't like it. The moo. That's the cow. That's the one from the Moo Moo Meadows, dude. The cow. I did. I put it in the background. I
I
put it
already
in the
saw you had it in your
background.
background.
Um.
That's awesome. But yeah, thank you all so much for listening. We appreciate it. Please like and subscribe, like Ernie said. Follow us on Instagram. We will tune in next week with you all. Checkpoint reached. Goodbye.
Goodbye.